Hello. Welcome to my channel. If you are tuning in for the first time, my name is Holly Lee. I am a career coach and I do live stream twice a week every Tuesday. I always forget to remove that name tag. I streamed every Tuesday at 12:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, free for all, as well as Friday, where I spend a lot of my time reviewing your LinkedIn profile. There will be a resume reviewed branding session that's coming up for the Friday session, as well as reviewing whatever you need me to in your storytelling. The cool thing about my pay YouTube member is you can tune in however you want, but specifically for the Friday session, well, as I'm reviewing your work on storytelling, we're doing a little bit of mock and reverse interview as well. So I'm not just talking to the camera and looking at what you're saying. I'm basically virtually hearing your voice and telling me your story as you're typing them in and try to frame your word into more corporate friendly that's relevant to like an Amazon environment. Now, one of the things that's really interesting, guys, is that I have a couple folks who message me. Actually, I have a lot of folks who messaged me on LinkedIn and they said, Holly, I really need interview coaching. I know you used to work for Google. My company of choice is Google. Do you do that? I mean, can you help me? I know that all your content is around Amazon. Let me just put the break geek right there for a second. I'm a career coach who works for all of the FAANG companies, and I like to put only focusing on the last 10 years of my employment on my LinkedIn profile, as you can see. But I've been doing this for a long time, for 2 decades. The reason why I talk so passionately about Amazon is because if you are tuning in for the first time, you will know that 99%, if not 100, of the community center. Lord, where is a girl's coffee of my YouTube community as well as my LinkedIn community? I'm not sure why, but a lot of the folks who's interviewing Amazon or want to work for Amazon are all coming into my channel and my stream. That's why I'm so passionate about the topic of helping you land an offer at Amazon. That's also because I'm simply just creating content based on all of your requests. I have a community tab on my YouTube channel, and even reading through that, everyone in their mom, their dad, their cousin, their friends, their brother, sister, babies even only care about Amazon. In fact, I put a poll in Q4 of 2020 so I can prepare myself for 2021, you see, in pumping out webinars that you care about. Again, everyone still care about Amazon. That's why the topic is around Amazon. But let's be real here. If you follow the star methods, by the way, when I talk about star, I know. Can I have some star up in here? Can I please have star? Can I see some star emoji in the live chat? By the way, if you miss, I actually have merchandise that I don't tell anybody about. Um, I know, right? I'm so passionate about Eat Sleep Star. What does that mean? It's an Amazon thing. If you hear anyone talk about interview prep and the star method, you know it's only an Amazon thing. I learned this, guess where? From Amazon. Amazon used the star method to help them put proposal together in writing their many pages of white paper. I actually took the class. I went through training to become an interview facilitator in training using the star method. So now I'm seeing more and more organization and even career coaches that are adapting the star method. Okay. Now, star method could be a number of different things. My process is really trying to streamline where you don't talk more than 45 seconds, 1 minute max. It is proven because I have helped over 200 people in my coaching cohort or private coaching in 2020 and even most recently. And everyone agree when we have a mock interviewed where I say, where someone's going to challenge me even in this live chat. Holly, I have a lot to talk about. It's going to take me a minute just to talk about what problem I'm trying to solve. Okay, so if we're doing mock and reverse interview, I can help you with that. I can help you where you're so short to the point. It's called providing enough breadth and enough depth. So I think coming from an Amazon environment for so long and having the opportunity to work for Kindle organization, Alexa devices, the largest devices platform, and Heartline, also one of the largest consumer space at Amazon. It taught me a few things, and I'm here to share all of my knowledge, everything that I've learned from that environment, everything I've trained in that environment to help you guys. Yes, it is in my best interest to see you land a job offer at Amazon. And also, I talked a lot about not putting all your eggs in one basket. Why should you? Excuse me, because a lot of my members in my YouTube community, throughout social platform, and even my paid clients, they're able to get multiple offers in a number of different places just by simply, the number one biggest thing is listening. Okay, listening is such a big keyword for me, because I am very, although I'm very analytical, I like data, I like facts. I like to not just tell you what to do, but I like to hold your hand and guide you through step by step. Really, you guys are so spoiled. Let's just be honest here. And all I wanted you guys to do is to follow. Okay. I mean, just out of my YouTube content alone, last week, true story, guys, there's about 12. I didn't get a chance to look through all of my LinkedIn messages. My coaching cohort knows that as I'm coaching them, because we did branding or LinkedIn profile reviewed yesterday on Monday, right? And they can see the messages coming in on my LinkedIn. That's how much messages I get. So, with that in mind, if you're going to message me on LinkedIn and ask for a quick tip, right here, guys, just show up. This is free for you guys. And I typically stay and answer every single one of your questions. So please do not spam me. And if you are new, make sure you don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you're not missing out on my weekly webinar. Okay. And in full disclosure, you really need to download my STAR method template. This is, by the way, every single one of my STAR template that you can find in my playlist, and I'll talk about that in a second. They're all my personal experiences. So, guys, I'm sharing with you the most innovative thing, my career failure, invent and simplified. What else have I shared with you guys? My weaknesses, my strength, earn trust, disagree and commit. I'm sharing every single part of my experiences from Amazon. Most of them are from Amazon, and one or two are from my most recent employer, which is Facebook. So you want to download that. And don't ask me questions such as, well, can you do something with program manager? Can you do something with data scientist? You guys hear the buzz here? I can't, because there are thousands of positions out there in the world. It would take me 10 years just to do that for every single position. But you guys are overthinking a lot. You see here? All you have to do is look. How do you guys think I became a coach? Did you think that I've actually followed thousands of different coaches? No. Basically, what I have done is I created something and I took my own course, and then it worked. In time, you just know what worked and what doesn't. I think the fact that I've been in the recruiting industry and I was also an interview trainer at Amazon for the 5 out of the almost 7 years I've been there really helped my channel and my business expand. Okay. So if you take a look at my example, yes, it is a people leadership experience, but look at it. You can clearly identify the problem I was trying to solve. And that was my most innovative, which I also gave you an example in that video. By the way, it's called the most innovative thing I've done as a career failure, using the same thing. I don't recycle and talk about the exact same thing, but I use the same storyline, but different section of my story. You see where I'm going here? So your ability to listen to instruction is key component of you landing a job offer. I know that because literally, like, I'd be surprised if someone comes into my group coaching cohort where they did not fail an Amazon interview yet. Even if they didn't, they will be. Why? Remember when I talked to you about listening? They don't listen. When I say you're not ready to interview in 2 weeks, you just got here. I need to work with you on your branding, and we need to work on your storytelling. That's going to take you a month to have a perfect story. And I think they thought that if they work really hard, they could have a magic wand that they could be interview ready in 2 weeks. For Amazon, by the way, have you heard of Amazon? It is the fastest growing company in the world. The fastest. It is the toughest environment in the world. The toughest. It has more products and services than all the companies combined. Well, maybe that's not true, but you guys get the idea. So when you guys are rushing through and getting your interviewed, and when you're not ready to actually ace the interview, you need to really cut it out. I'm begging you to stop that, because your ability to listen is really the component that is going to help you land any job offer. I say this every single week, and I'm going to say this one more time. If you follow my simplistic star method, I'm not even going to say start method because everyone have their own interpretation. I have bar raisers at Amazon, by the way, who reaches out to me and who wants to partner with me on this about the star method. Even so, I know that their background and mine are very different because I'm so particular in how I explained the star foundation. This is coming from just the right component ingredients, right? Knowing when to go forward, knowing when to pause and put the breakdown, knowing when to put the appropriate call to action, and when to get them so excited that you're going to cut them off. Yes, those are some of the things that I've taught my cohort. Okay. If you're interested to learn any more, you can simply go into my business page. It's hollylee.co/VIP, and everything I have is in full transparency right there. And now I wanted to see who is in the house to say hello to all of. Oh, look at all the star. Wow. Thank you, guys. Adrian. Hello, Adrian. Welcome. I've got quite a few resume accelerator, my star interviewed accelerator in the house as well. Thank you so much for coming in. London leader. London leader, if I don't see you here for a session, there were a point where you didn't show up for a week and it was very noticeable. It's true, guys. You never forget, the phrase that you don't forget your first customers. In my case, I would never forget the first couple people who have supported my channel where I was talking to a wall. And literally, no one is here to support me. So, Cassia, hello, Cassia. How are you? Abby. Yes, Abby. How are you, Abby? I love it. Anna. Hello, Anna. Can you guys tell how excited I am when I have my member who are here? And guys, by the way, the only reason why I created the pay YouTube community member, $3.99, by the way, I promise I'm not breaking your bank, is because it helps me dedicate a lot of my time. Let me explain what that means. I don't really take private coaching anymore. It takes a lot of my effort to do that. And please forgive me for being so transparent because I don't enjoy having private session where you are paying me for my time and I'm spending week after week in motivating you where I don't find the value because I know that you're not ready. Okay? When someone is ready, they're highly ambitious, they're very hungry into getting that job offer. When I know that you're not ready yet, you may want to work more on your mindset and your confident level. I'm not that coach. Can I do it? Yes, but I don't want to focus on that. I just want to focus on people who are just so miserable right now, who has a job, who just want to work for Amazon or whatever company of their choice, that are stuck in the same job for so many years. And another ideal customer of mine is those who are affected by the pandemic. Even so, I do pick and choose who I work for. I don't have the hundreds of customers right now. Let's be honest. I like to keep my group very, very small because in a small setting, I'm able to help more of you guys. I'm able to listen to you more. I'm also learning from my mistakes in being in the workplace where I manage a large team of recruiters, sourcers, recruiting coordinator, project management, where I don't have enough time for my team. So this time around, what really brings me joy is to not just, if I want to make a lot of money, let's be honest here, I'll go back and work for one of the FAANG companies because they do compensate very well with their perks. But this, I feel rich every single damn week from the moment I switch that camera and I start coaching you, or you're in my coaching cohort. Anything that has to do with coaching, that's what really brings me joy. And those are the people that you guys know because you have been supporting me throughout my programs. You're my pay YouTube member. Thank you. You know who you are. And if you're watching the live stream, you know who they are too because they have the emoji, the Eat Sleep Star that I have created for you guys. Okay. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. And Joe from Paris. Hello, hello. If you're in Paris, the Friday live stream is really for the Mia folks. I know that it's probably, I don't know exact time, but it's probably pretty late in the evening for you there. Anna, how are you, Anna? Anna. I'm trying to, you know what? I need to somehow make this monitor more friendly that it pops up and Here you go. I'm getting there, guys. Bear with me. I hope all is well. Hope you are well. Thank you, Oliver. That's really nice. My son and I are both under the weather a little bit, but you guys know how I work. If I can show up with a crown replacement with my lips crooked, you know I'm going to show up with a cold. I mean, that's a piece of cake, right? That's what I mean. I'm not a fan of any kind of excuses. Cassia, oh, that's a really nice emoji. It must be a new thing there. Everyone, greetings from Spain. I have a pretty big Spain community. I think eventually I'm going to merge all of the YouTube community together in a Facebook group or something along that way. Valentina, hola, how are you? Hi to all Earth. She put a photo of Earth on there. London Leader says 30-second because London Leader actually witnessed for the first time in a mock interview setting where it's actually on the dot of 30-second. It's amazing, right? You know, sure, you can talk for 1 minute, you can talk for 2 minutes, but if you tell yourself you guys are able to keep the interviewer entertained, meaning they are interested in listening to what you have to say, right? And you have a really good transition flow. 2 minutes, it's a long time. When I pumped in content for you guys, even a 5 minute video, you know how long that's going to take me? It takes me literally at least 10 hours to edit that clip. So imagine being in an interview setting and you're talking for a few minutes. Okay? Talon. Hey, Talon. What is going on? Look at all of this pay YouTube member. Thanks, guys. You're all showing up. Hope everything is okay with you as well in Atlanta, Georgia, Talon. Tulane? Tulane? I think it's Tulane. My week is always productive. As long as I have people to help, I'm extremely productive. Bear, hello, Bear. How are things going? Obey Me Now 72. Hello, Obey Me Now. We didn't see you on Monday. Wait, what is today? Tuesday? We didn't see you on Friday. Mr. Messes. Mr. Messes. How are you, Mr. Messes Kitchen? There you go. London Leader says, London Leader, you're just a fan that's been here for a while and that I really, really appreciate. Where are you? I'm trying to move this to make sure that it is in line with my dual monitor. The one thing I don't like about my streaming software is you see the fancy emoji. I can't drag that in the screen because I would love a proud moment to see the emoji that I've created for the pay YouTube member. And I'm not seeing that. Okay, let's not waste our time on it then. Thank you so much for all the star. London Leader says, because your approach appeals to type A++. Oh my God, I'm dropping tears, Mr. London Leader. I'm literally dropping tears. That is true, guys. I hate to break the news to y'all, but I am extremely A-type. I am. I can't even hide it. This is just my first cup of coffee. Look at my level of energy. Well, A-type doesn't have to be high energy. The definition of A-type is someone who are obsessed with ownership and delivering results. Those type are ones who are just extremely high go-getter. That ones that their biggest fear is probably failure, and they will do anything to not have that. And that's a type A Amazon and Apple as well. Okay, because they're building so many products and services, they have to hire the right culture. Now, not to say that people there are not nice. They are. There's a lot of great people I've worked with before, and I'm great friends with a large group of people, but it takes a unique personality being able to handle such a fast-paced environment. I love it. A plus plus plus. Not A plus, but plus plus plus. Abby. What is Abby telling us here? Let's see here. This is so weird. Abby says, do you mean just repeating stories one by one? What do you mean by repeating story one by one, Abby? I know. Look at this community. Valentina says, bear in the wild. Don't let it affect you too much. Go out, rest, try again, persistent. That is really true. That is so true, guys. Don't let one interview that you didn't make it through, or I don't care how many interviews you didn't make it through. I know it's easy said to be done, but listen, everyone, everything that I'm preaching to you guys, I've literally walked through all of that so many times. So many. Okay. I mean, there are a time, I can't talk, in my career where I was laid off literally every single month. True story. In the last pandemic in 2009, this is not even COVID-19, this is just the market crash. Every single tech company, non tech is even worse, everything shut down. Cloud infrastructure, everything is done. So I feel like this pandemic, where we're going right now, I see the market slowly bouncing back within 1 year versus in 2009, 2009, it took almost 8 to 9 years to bounce back. Okay. So chin up. Let's carry on. There's more positions out there for you guys. Take this as a blessing because we have our friend, Emmanuel. I don't know if she'll be here today. You guys know her in the Resume Accelerator and the Star Accelerator group. She actually did have an offer within 7 weeks being in my Star Accelerator program. And she sends red flag almost immediately from the owner of the company, the CEO of the startup. And she wasn't really ready to accept the offer. There was so much hesitation, but in the end, the offers then go through. Thank God, because literally almost a month after that, she received another offer. You see, now she's with a company that she is completely love. It is not Amazon, but this is a brand, a premium brand with her industry. Okay. So I'm telling you that story because sometimes things happen for a good reason. Just like how when I took off my hat and left, a great company who treated me so well, Facebook, that is, and I get to work with amazing technology, AR, VR, which I'm a big AR, VR. I'm not a gamer, but I love the technology so much because I wanted to follow my heart and my dream of being a career coach and doing this. I just took a leap of faith and say, I'm going to give myself a year to try. And if no one watches my channel, if nobody comes up, if I have no clients and I can't afford to just live off of doing what I love, then I'll go back and work for an employer, right? And you guys all know this. If there's an opportunity for you to build something cool, you would already done it. But I'm telling you guys this right now. Don't wait for the perfect time. I'm not talking about being an entrepreneur. I'm talking about for jobs, okay? Don't feel so bumped out of it that you're letting that take the best out of you because a lot of my customers do that, specifically the women, okay? And I'm not saying this in any bad manner at all whatsoever because if you think about it this way, and I'm being very raw here. If you look at the workplace, there's always going to be some kind of biases anyway. And you're competing with so many people out there. So the more ownership you have in your tone, and you got to do yourself and respect yourself by doing this. You have to be able, when you take an interview, you need to tell yourself what is it that you possibly have to do to get that job. I trained my coaching cohort to think that they're going to be literally homeless the next month if they don't get that job. So I need to see a sense of confidence and ownership. Where do you get that? One may ask. Well, if you look at your resume or your credential, you need to really figure out the root of your the one proudest moment in your career, and you feel really good about that, right? I want you to hang on to it, and I want you to start creating stories around what makes you feel really really good. I'm being so genuine here, guys. I'm not sharing you things that I'm not sharing with my pay clients. By the way, it's the same thing. You're not getting the ones who are paying in my coaching cohort. I know a lot of you guys are here. They're not getting anything special. It's really the same thing. They're getting my attention. And I'm literally reviewing your story in my mock interview. That's really it. Okay. So you have to move forward, but don't just take another interview. Through every failed interview, you guys have to take a look at, okay, next one. Here's my goal. This is what I want out of it. Here are the couple questions that I felt that I probably would have done better. But if you really look back, you can kind of know that maybe it's not the exact fit for you anyhow. Okay, so I have a whole playlist with 3 video. It's called Fail Interview. Make sure you check that out. I talk a lot about branding, guys. It is in what you put on your resume. If your resume isn't clear to me, to you, it's not going to be clear to the interviewer. And when you're creating your stories, guess what, guys? It's not clear. If your resume has so many, for example, so many different position titles that's not even correlating with one another, right? If you look at your bullets of accomplishment or business impact, it's just all over the place. Let me give you an example with all over the place. If you have business, technology, program, product, technical, sales, and then you also have marketing, a lot of you guys do because I've looked at a lot of your branding, right? You have to really come terms. You don't want to be seen as a generalist. You want to be seen as an expert. So, which part of those do you want to be considered an expert? And which one of those skill set you want to hone into for the next big thing for you? Okay. I think I'm going to stop preaching there for a second. It's just that I've been a little bit more passion than the usual. I also made a poll on my LinkedIn group of what stages my community is in because on LinkedIn I have a lot of connections and I want to talk about relevancy. I would say the majority of the folk have failed interviewed, which is absolutely fine. Okay, you need to be able to fail a couple or quite a few in order to know how it feels to win in the right environment. Zana, hey Zana, I passed the second screen phone interview. To be honest, I was expecting the four interview instead of the second phone. Well, that means that they are missing some information from the first phone screen. That's why employer wants to conduct a second phone screen to not waste your time and theirs. Now, guys, for those who are new to my channel, this is not just for Amazon. The interview process, it's really similar across all of the big companies as well. Okay, if you haven't already, I have put down in all of my channel, there is a well, actually I'm going to be doing that. There is a link directly to the Amazon career site. If you look at it, it tells you phone screen, on-site assessment test, so on and so forth. So I'm literally giving you guys every single thing on the description in my video. A lot of you ask me, where do I find your description? All you have to do is just click on the info tab. Basically, click on where you can click and you will find all the details. Okay. I just realized that not a lot of people know that it exists. There's so many resources on there. There's also resources that some of you asked me earlier about the playlist. It's right here. Okay. Let me move over here a little bit again. It is just very detailed, as you can see, right? Step one, go to my webpage. Step two, go click on my playlist. Step three, those are the recommendation in that order. You know, what really kills me is when I send this graph or instruction to those of you who reaches out to me to LinkedIn, and some of the reaction I get is, Holly, that's a lot of information. I'm like, you think? You think it's a lot of information? Because that took a year and a half to build for you for free, by the way. So, as I'm giving you and guiding you, if you think this is too much information, you're preaching to the wrong person. I think I speak my piece. All right. Hola. Hola, Odo. How are you? Well, now that I have this, I can't get rid of it. Oh, there you go. do Yay, do the Facebook for us. Amazing idea, like always. Yeah, I am. I'm working on a couple of things, Kasia. Kasia says basically align everyone on the Facebook group for us. I am because I know my pay member very, very well, especially a lot of you guys who's been around for so long. I want to be good to you guys and return a favor. I know that I may be helping you by providing tips in my webinar in helping you land interview and a lot of you able to land jobs out of it. But in return, because of all of you, I'm able to do what I love. I didn't know how much I love doing this until you guys came along. Okay. So I'm constantly thinking about ways to improve the community and just help people align with each other. Like Elaine with a Tulane. Tulane. Yes, Tulane. Thank you for the correction. Ryan. Hello, hello, Ryan. Ryan says, it's been 2 weeks since my Amazon onsite. I emailed the recruiter and none of them responded to me. What do I do? Then you should continue responding to the recruiter because recruiter, it is rude, very rude. If someone spend their time in prepping for the interview and spend their entire day interviewing with you, Amazon or not, you need to get back to your candidates. Don't be afraid, guys. There are so many of you. How do I get back to the recruiter? Should I get back to the recruiter? It's one of the number one questions that I've been getting. Guys, reach out to the recruiter. There's no harm. Remember, treat yourself good. You have worked so hard to prep for an interview. And people need to have respect to get back to you in a decent manner, which is no more than a few days to 1 week max. At the bare minimum, all they have to do is to send you an email and say they're working on the feedback or something. Okay, so don't be afraid. I gave the same example, I can't remember when, where a couple of my VIP cohort, which is right here, a couple of my VIP cohort actually landed an Amazon offer, actually landed. One of them actually resigned while they wait for a formal offer. Please don't ever do that, because in both of those examples, they decided to go with an internal candidates. One of them decided to, like, the offer never got approved. Okay, eventually they do, and they're both Amazonian now. But it took a lot of me coaching them to never stop a beat. Go after your recruiter, go after the hiring manager, because you know the hiring manager, right? If you and the funny thing is, they made an offer to one of my level 6 solution architect, because the feedback for him was, wow, we actually don't have a budget. Really, it's Amazon's fault. They should have checked that before wasting my client's time. But anyway, long story short, we don't have any budget, but we managed to open the position for you because your ownership is so strong that it was very clear that you wanted to work here. You see that? So don't ever be afraid to reach out to people. As as worry as warrior says, I would really like some tips on how recruitment process for internship works and what skill would be evaluated. I know nothing about intern because I was not I am I was an industry and executive recruiting, and also as a leader for that space. I know nothing about new grad and junior position. What I can tell you is that you're evaluated, if you're an intern, based on what you study on your academia background. Okay, you still need to know the fundamental of the leadership principle as well, and you are absolutely can and use your experiences from academia. And I have helped actually a couple people getting intern and also new graduate position at Amazon using those tactics. It's the same thing. My background is technical operation program manager. I'm trying to provide to tech program management. If you are looking for an intern position, I don't know if there's actually an intern role for TPM, because TPM are one of the it's considered a critical role at Amazon. I could be wrong, because the last time I worked for Amazon was about 3 years ago. Okay, so don't quote me on it. But if you just have a degree, for example, you can easily be an area manager depending on what degree. And if you have some industry experience or master, it will be an operation program manager. For TPM, actually, for all the time that I've been supporting Amazon, I have never seen an intern in TPM before. Again, as Varia. Sorry, don't quote me on that. I would say the best bet is to apply to the position directly. And I talk a lot about networking, guys. I have the entire playlist called LinkedIn and Networking. It's also in the description, so go check that out. Okay? Valentina says, Holly sent you a link on LinkedIn for those who landed a job. Reminder. Oh, yes. Yes. That is true. And once you landed a job offer, I don't care where, I will invite you to my private Facebook group. The reason being, the ultimate goal is, well, first, the selfish reason is I need to remember you, because I won't remember every single person. As much as I love to say I remember every single clients I have helped or have coached, there's quite a few. Okay. And I definitely can't remember your background anymore after XYZ amount of time. So the intent of my private group is for those who land in a job offer to kind of help each other settle into their 30, 60, 90 days. I also create content for those who are already new into the role to help them with career transition. More importantly, there will come a time, there will, guys, where you're really frustrated with your managers, or for some reason you wanted to just take your hat off and start the interview process. So it really helped to have a community of people that you trust and you already know. And yes, I'm very careful in who I let into the community with rules and guidelines, because if you don't follow them, you will be kicked out. Okay? Thanks for the reminder, Valentina. Jana Janani. Hi, Janani. Janani says, I have 5-year break in my resume. I was a QA for 6 years. Before my break, I'm in process of getting back into my career. How to get selected for an internship? Well, if you already have 6 years experience as a QA, why would you be an intern? Right? Just because you have a gap does not make you entry level. I can't really give you a thoughtful answer without knowing your background more. Janani, you know what? Let me see if I can pull you up on LinkedIn really quick. I'm not going to share. I will not be sharing your profile to the public. Let me see if I can pull it up really quick. Bear with me for a second here. My hand itches. Can you see that? I can't sit still when I know that my community needs me. Here so you were in SDET. Is that you? Because there are quite a lot of people with your name. It's very common. I'm going to assume that this is you from Redmond, correct? As an SDET? I'm not sure if this is you, so I'm not going to review this because when I'm looking this, I don't see the gap. But the bottom line is, Janani, if you have gap in your employment and you just mentioned that you were a QA for 6 years, that's not an intern. That just means that you have to pick up where you are, you have to pick up where you left off. Okay. If you're interested to learn more on how, there's a lot of playlists on that as well. The first thing I would recommend is my branding playlist. I don't know why I'm looking over there. The camera's over here. It's my branding. It's called It's called LinkedIn Networking and Strategies. Basically, it has LinkedIn and networking in it. That is the playlist you want it to be in. It walks you through literally every single step. Don't be lazy. Don't be lazy because a lot of people are. 90 people in the world are lacking motivations and choose to settle, even though they are from single parents to not worked for so long. From the moment they hear, what, I have to put my resume together, or what, I have to create a branding to attract employer, they stop doing it. True story, guys. In a week before Christmas of 2020, okay, I made a post on my LinkedIn where I would take on 12 professional of those professionals are either single parents or head of household who've lost their job because of COVID-19. I was going to help them with their branding for free. And guess what, guys? Not a single person did the work. And this is why when a lot of you reach out to me on LinkedIn with a quick tip, can you look at my, no, I stopped doing that because when you give people things that they're not using their mind or being creative in following instructions, they won't make it. There's no way you can pass a job interviewed when you can't even write down what you have done. Okay? Which reminds me, you should not hire anyone to do your resume or your LinkedIn profile for you because you really need to do that. There are so many resources out there. There's so many resources that are free right in my channel as well. And I would encourage you to see what other creators out there that you want to follow as well. Okay? And I also pumped in a lot of blogs that I've written. Okay? I have written for you guys on my website. By the way, let me give you an example. Right here, it's just hollylee.co/ if you put blogs, that is my blogs. Okay? Just to give you guys an idea, there's just so many information out there. So don't ever think that just because you take a year, 5 years gap, the employer would think otherwise. That's not true. Because I've helped 6 people in 2020, and the ones who took the longest gap was about 5 years. It took that individual, actually most of them, less than 3 months to go back into the workforce. It takes time, guys. If you think that you could just somehow have some magic wand and you can get a job within a month, that's not true. That is not true. London leader. London leader says, I'm sure Bose loves you. I think you meant Bezo. Well, he's retired. I don't think so. That's funny. You know what? The thing is, Amazon actually did reach out to me over the weekend and asked if I wanted to come back and help them build their special project, and I pretty much told them that I would take some time to think about it. And the more I think about, do I really want to have less time in helping people like you guys? Which means, guys, I won't be able to live stream twice a week anymore. I definitely will not be on Clubhouse anymore because I know doing anything, even with my own business, helping out like an Amazon, will consume a lot of my time. Just the thought of not being able to coach you guys or having to get rid of 50% of what I'm doing right now made a decision very quickly. No, I'm not willing to sacrifice that. And then it makes me think about, what do I really love to do? I'm like, well, I don't I don't talk about Amazon because I love to work for Amazon because I've already done it. I worked for an employer for over 20 years. I talk about Amazon because I value and respect their interview process. At least back then, I really did. I still am. And I know that the process that I put together and the courses that I have created made an impact to hundreds of people in 2020. And the more I think about it, there is no money in the world that I will go back to the workplace and do that because I'm already doing it for Amazon. You don't even have to pay me, Amazon. I'm already doing it. Mr. London Leader, I know what you're thinking right now. I see you. I see you. Abby says bare minimum 15 stories, so just record the story over and over until sound confident enough. When you record yourself over and over, make sure you guys are also evaluating yourself, correct? Yeah? By the way, can you put it in the comment below? How many times have you all recorded your story? First of all, first question is, how many story do you have? Second question is, how many times have you recorded yourself? I look so bright right now and I barely have a light on. Let me see if I could. How's that? How you got? Oh no, I don't like it. Let's just bring that back and not do anything else. Asha, can you provide more insight on interview for an account representative position? There's never a lot of information on sales role at Amazon. Oh, Amazon Business. Woohoo! That's my baby. That group is my baby. They were called smallpots.com 6 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago. I moved from Kindles from the Silicon Valley to Seattle for Amazon Business 7 years ago, and then relaunched AmazonSupply.com B2B. Now is Amazon slash B2B multi-billion-dollar organization for Amazon. So the way you prep for an account representative, that's because a lot of the account representative don't put feedback on Glassdoor. At the bottom line, you need to bottom line. At the very bare minimum, I can't talk. You need to still create your stories around what you've done. You don't need to look for very specific for your position. You just need to follow everything that I've had laid out for you. It's all the same thing, guys. Really, all the same thing, specifically non-tech role. Okay. If you're tech, we can talk more about diving deep on the type of technical question. But for non-tech, for example, tell me about the most, no, tell me about, actually, walk me through your largest customer, your account representative, right? Walk me through your largest customer. Just tell me a story and how you help one of your biggest customer, right? I don't need to know anything about account representative. I can evaluate you based on intelligent thought process. And do you have data to back up what you said? And what was your business impact? Okay. So I just show this right here. This is in my description section in every single one of my video. You cannot miss it. You have to follow everything to a T. Everything to a T. Love the photo, Adrian. Obey me now. Study each email the recruiter sent for the clues on what the employer wants as well as the job description. Well, a good recruiter shouldn't make you do that. Obey me now. A good recruiter should tell you exactly what you're getting yourself into. I just feel like sometimes a different generation comes in where 20 years ago when I started my recruiting career, I literally have to, I'm not even making this up. I literally have to drive to like Siemens and knock on their door. This is true story, and say, hey, who is your decision maker, director of tech? Great. By the way, he's not here, and this is my third time stopping by. What car is he driving? I would love to. By the way, by that time, I knew what the receptionist liked to drink with her macchiato, and of course, I bought her coffee every time that I stop by. I have to hunt the director down so I can earn their business as an account manager for the staffing agency at the time, and that's how I was able to get all inclusive in building out all of Siemens data center. This is true story. In Fremont, California, this is God so many years ago, over a decade ago. Okay. So why I'm telling you this is that I feel like this generation, a lot of the younger folks, their first job is Amazon because they have a really big degree, or they know someone who got in. And the folks who are the later generation, like I am, because we've done our time, we move on to something different, or they turn into entrepreneur like myself, but they don't know what hard work really is to get a job with one of the big FAANG company. Okay? Because it literally took me 10 years, people, to land my first big company. And I have to work so hard to get into it. So if you compare that to where you know someone that's, oh yeah, I'm willing to take the risk, and yeah, I'm going to hire that person. So that's why more than ever in 2020, that is a time that I would expect the recruiting team or recruitment to step up to take care of the candidates. And I'm not seeing that. Yes, even though Amazon has been crazy busy in 2020, but let's look at the bright side here, okay? Amazon has always been busy, pandemic or not. I mean, I remember getting 300 emails coming back from the weekends. And I remember one of the feedback that I have from a manager that he's not even my cup of tea. But the best thing he's ever said to me was, he said, Holly, when it comes to candidate experience, you never messed up. I'm using the nice verbiage. He didn't use the word messed up. It was a lot worse than that. But basically, the whole point was, when it comes to candidate experience and taking care of your candidates, you know them so well. I don't understand how you do it, because I was literally at the time traveling, and I was an international recruiter and a manager at the same time. And I also taught, interviewed for consumer at that time. So I guess I'm having a hard time. And I was also trying to make my son at the time too, to make matters worse. So I'm having a hard time trying to understand why there's so many balls that's being dropped of people not getting back to the candidate, especially when your candidate have had an on-site interview. You can't miss it, because if you look in your internal system, recruiter, it's right there. It is. I know you don't have that many that came from an on-site process, and they just don't get back to. I don't know. Anyway, I need to stop right here before I start ratting out recruiters. It's just my biggest pet peeves when they don't follow through. Okay? Bear, bear, bear. Anyone in here getting outrageous writing assignment as part of the hiring interview process? That's actually a very good question, Bear. I'm going to leave it here and let others respond to you. Ella, hello, Ella. Oh, love the rainbow. Thank you so much for the rainbow. You know, I have a lot of stars and thumbs up, but unfortunately, I'm not seeing any of them. That is so weird. So, so weird. Okay. Austin. Austin says Amazon responds to asking for feedback. Unfortunately, here at Amazon, we cannot provide internal feedback. Yes, that is true. I talked about this in a lot of my stream before, but let's cut it short, because there's no right way to share feedback. Someone's going to get upset with the recruiter, and then someone's going to escalate. You may want to think that our human being, we like to do the right thing. Not so much. There's also this thing called an ego problem as well. I mean, I could relate, because the time that I did genuinely give feedback to my candidate, um, I actually got escalated. It got escalated to my manager that, you know, I have 15 years of experience, and Holly just told me that I need to work on my coding in problem solving. I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to tell you, stop applying to so many jobs, not in all those words, because I don't want you to waste your time, and I don't want you to not know why. You see that? Sometimes not everyone appreciates transparency. Someone asked me here um, earlier on in the week, they said, Holly, have you always been this transparent at Amazon? Absolutely yes. If you're not transparent, it's really hard to be in a fast paced environment. And this is, again, not just for Amazon. Oliver, thank you for clarifying. Are you guys referring to internship or returnship? I've never heard of the phrase returnship at Amazon. They call it boomerang at Amazon if you want to return back in working at Amazon again. I think they're referring to internship, Oliver, but thank you for calling that out. It's not intern, it's return ship to work. That's is that a new term on Amazon right now? So boomerang then. If it's a boomerang thing, the first thing they will do, Janani, the first thing they will do is to get feedback from your previous manager. I'm gonna sneeze real quick. Excuse me. Who? Your manager, okay? It's all about how well you do and your overall feedback before your leave. Also, when you go on leave, generally they will have to close your file. And when they do that, your manager still have to put their feedback on you on there and based on previous performance. So all you would do, if I were you, if you have a good relationship with your former team, peers, anyone, I would leverage those first because doing they call it backdoor, so backdooring you as a former employee is the first thing they would do. The G-Man 971. I'm waiting for video interview for RMF possibly next week. There will be a lot of questions on a 14 leadership principle. I have 35 years experience in engineering, the last 13 offshore. That sounds really good. And yes, they will evaluate you for all of the leadership principle. If you guys missed my LinkedIn post, let's connect on LinkedIn right here. I just made a post with David Anderson. David is the head of technology. He also wrote, he has a blog on Medium, okay? His blog is all about the Amazon leadership principle in helping people understand the foundation of what that is. I highly advise you guys to check that out. Also, aside from my post on LinkedIn, that link that leads to David's blog, it's also on all of the description in my video. I'm doing that to genuinely help you guys find all of the information in one place. Allison, I love to hear your thought on this. We chatted a bit on LinkedIn and Clubhouse recently. Which Allison? Oh, that Allison. How can we as employers find early to mid career professional in IT that would be a good candidate for DevOps engineers team? That's a great question. Let me repeat the question one more time. How can employers find early to mid career professional in IT that would be a good candidate for DevOps engineer? Well, it depends on how clear you are. Um, and this is a really good question. I'm so glad you made it, Allison. Hey, let me tell you this. I know you haven't heard of this before. I've hired a lot of the high performer. One of my kick ass performer was a college student, graveyard. She was a swing shift graveyard. She was a pizza delivery driver. And on top of that, she has a full time job at the university. Okay. And the reason why I'm sharing this story with you is when you're hiring for junior and mid level, sometimes if I have an option, I would go for ambitious and eagerness, hunger with the right attitude and aptitude over experiences any day. I am a firm believer that you can train anyone to do anything with the right aptitude. Okay. And I've done the same thing when I hire someone who cuts down lumber for a living, and he was an ex military. Okay, and I've hired someone who was more of an executive administration or administrative teaching kids how to read for a nonprofit. And the reason why I hired that professional or that person was because that person, she drove 12 plus hour from Sacramento to Seattle to interview because she really wanted to work for Facebook. And I hired her. And she is still at Facebook. You see where I'm going? So if I were you, I would create a type of interview bank questions on how to identify when someone has the right attitude, which means they're not lazy, which means they demonstrate ownership, which means that they're able to pick up very quickly by the type of thing that they say. Let me give you an example, Allison. Okay, now, I'm just focusing on junior people right now, but let me tell you how smart these people are. None of the example I just gave you guys have an ounce of tech companies or recruiting experience. Guess what? Within 3 months, they got promoted. Within 6 months, they became full-time employees. The names that I just dropped, they are still at those companies that I hired them for. And my biggest performer who kicked butt at Amazon are still there. Okay. I'm not surprised if she is a level 6 right now because I know that she's been promoted multiple times. So you need to really carve out questions where you're able to get to know them on a cultural fit and what is your culture, because my culture is, it took me 2 years to find a marketing partner where herself and I are seeing eye to eye. Okay. And I have talked to so many people and I've had mistakes of making wrong hires when I first started my business 2 years ago. It took me 2 years to hire one person. So you need to really create the biggest tip I can give you if you're an employer is, what type of questions are important to you? What is your definition of culture fit? Now let's move on to mid-level. When it's mid-level, if I were you, I'm not looking for a superstar with a lot of heavy experiences. I just want them to know the industry and have the knowledge based on what your company's product and services is that you want them to do, and they can do the job with some coaching. Okay. Um, I don't mean to say this in the wrong way, but if I have an option, I'd rather hire someone junior and mid level versus someone who's senior with a lot of experience. Because what I found as a people manager for about 8 years, I've been a people manager for at least 8 years in my 20 years career. It's hard to train someone who have had 10, 20 years experiences because they are one, either very jaded in the big companies or the companies they're working at, and two, they're not easily adapt to changes. They don't want to embrace change because they've been doing this for so long. And sometimes they think they're better than everyone else. Okay. So, Allison, I hope I'm able to answer your question there. You have to carve out what is the right culture fit. Skills, you could teach skills to anyone who can learn and adapt to your environment. And one really important key point is, Allison, that I want to share with you on the employer perspective. When I hire people for my business, which is Holly Lee and Associates, you need to make me feel that my business and taking care of my community member is your best interest. So as you're interviewing, you got to create questions where they're going to be able to give you really intelligent answer of earning trust and ability to influence. Does that sound like Amazon to you? It is, right? I'm telling you, it sticks into my head. So earning trust, and also you're not looking for loyalty, but you're looking for someone who takes care of you, your team, and your company and your business, and that's hard. Stock. London leader. You are so funny. Hey, Ron, I'm currently employed at Amazon as an L3, trying to land an L4 area manager. Yay. We have an area manager. I love operation. That's why I have the yay button for you there. I'm getting under consideration, but nothing after that. Well, if you're going from an L4, I'm sorry, L3 to L4, what was the conversation with your manager? Because it has a lot to do with that. Okay. Even for internal, when it comes to feedback, they don't necessarily give you a lot of the feedback. It could also be to avoid awkwardness as well because you're in the same environment. Toughen up, Amazon and employer. Just toughen up. Be honest. They're already an internal employee. Just tell them what they need to do. So if I were you, Ron, I will tell. I'm not sure if this is with the same team, the same manager, or different team. Whatever that may be, I would have a conversation with your manager, current manager, where they're setting you up from a 3 to a 4, and how would you get there? So when the time is there, there's no surprises, there's no pause. Okay. One thing you should know, Ron, is for internal transfer, the process actually take a little bit longer because they're actually reviewing on your performance reviewed. They're also doing, they may be doing surveys and ask teams and basically the people that you are having partnership with cross functionally to gain feedback of who you are, if you're the right team or the right fit for level 4. Okay. Oh, my allergy is kicking in. Let's continue rolling. 48-story, 3 times a piece. Wow, obey me now. I love it. I love it. Obey me now. Pete. Pete says, I've recently had a verbal offer for graduate area manager. I was wondering how long it takes them to place and give me a written offer. First of all, congratulations for your Amazon job offer, Pete Oakland. How long does it take? Well, I can't give you the exact answer. It's really depending on how fast they're willing to move. Generally, it takes about a week to get the offer approved and to generate it through the system. Okay. I'm going to assume that Amazon's doing a lot of offer right now, too. Again, I'm going to preach the recruiters one more time. Recruiters, listen up. It should not take you more than a week to get back to your candidate, whether you let them know where they are in the process flow, if it's pending for approval, whatever that may be. Recruiter, please get back to your candidate. Sensitive topic. Swish, hello, Swish. You are in my clubhouse as well. Question, I am immigrant and currently on work visa with a green card in process. And new employer have a sponsor my work visa. Does this status have any impediments in getting employment with FAANG or other company? If you are already in the green card process, if I were you, I wouldn't go anywhere until that green card process is in completion. Why would you? Why would you? It's going to change things. I would not do that. That's just my advice to you. You can do however you want. I don't think it will hurt your. I don't think it's going to hurt your or affect of you getting employed, depending on the time frame and your status, right? If it's going to take for another month or 2 months until you get your green card, an employer would hire you. And maybe your start date is not immediate. But if I were you, again, I would not consider it's almost like cheating in with your current employer. Okay. I would not consider changing employer until I have done my time and have the green card where I know that I can work for any US employer. That's the best tip I have for you. Jacob, I have my second phone interview for program manager for procurement, but can't really find any information on interview tips for procurement. Jacob, why are you looking for such specific? I talk about this for so much. I'm not going to repeat myself again, but if you go to the description in this video and any video, there's a whole list of recommendation. Everyone listen to my voice. Listen to my sweet voice. All you guys have to do is to follow. You see why people don't listen? You have to follow everything to a T, and that's all you have to do. Okay? In my interviewed tips, my Amazon interview tip playlist, there are so much tips for PM. It doesn't matter if you're PM for consumer, for AWS, for payments, for procurement. It doesn't matter. It's still PM. It's the same thing. It's the same type of question. Okay? So focus your energy on just answering the behavioral question and less on wasting your time in finding the specific. You're wasting your effort that way. Okay? Someone down here, please tell our friend Jacob how long his answer should be. Hello, hungry for employment. I had a writing assignment and it was not bad. Tasha says, I'm waiting for my final interview and I have been primarily focusing on your video. I'm an procurement operations analyst. Awesome. SJ, keep the good work. Love your content. Well, thank you, SJ. I know I don't think Bear in the Wild, I'm going to do a 3-hour clubhouse chat. It was supposed to be 60-minute, but there's so many people coming in between String and I. We're just very customer obsessed and we can't help ourselves. But in the future, we do want to keep it to 60-minute because I have to put my kid to bed. But I'm so happy. Can you tell that I was inviting you to stage? I'm always giving my community love because I recognize your name and I know that you're there. Oto says, do you think Amazon is slightly changing its interviewing strategy? Great question. I absolutely think they do. They are. Depending on the hiring manager, I found that star questions were only 60% of the interviewed. Rest was through the classic style. What do you mean by classic style? When I say star, I meant you have to identify what problem you're solving to and your business impact, right? Even if they're asking you, so tell me about yourself or tell me about what you have done and all that, they're really referring to the star method. Okay. I would not say when it comes to the Amazon specifically, they only care if you have business impact and you're able to tell them how you got to the business ROI. And in order for you to get to there, you have to use the star format. Okay. Now, one may disagree with me on the star. That's because star is not everyone is a fan of star, including Amazon employee, including bar racer, right? It's not. That is the fact, right? I'm a fan because I have been in recruiting for 20 years. I know what works and what doesn't work. I know what works in all of these companies. And guess what? I am only preaching because literally every single person who landed an offer in all the companies outside of Amazon, they're also using the star method. Not just any star method, but they just get to the point. People are going to get so bored when you start talking for over a minute. That is a fact. Okay. A bar racer may not agree with me because some of them actually don't agree with me. And I know that because I'm friends with them and we actually have conversation. Multiple bar racers, even director level. Holly, really? 45 second? I don't know if they can pass an interview. That's too short. And then I asked them the same question. I said, okay, well, tell me about your biggest failure. I don't want to mention which org so you guys can figure out who this is. Tell me about the org that you were supporting, your international project in China. What didn't work out there? What was the biggest hiccup? And it took this executive 10 minutes to tell me his story. And by then I was like, oh my God, I need another cup of coffee. That's what I mean. Okay. So it's really depending on their background, how long they have been there and what they're evaluating you from. But the bottom line is when you say 60%, I'm not really sure what you mean because interview question is interview questions. I don't know what classic style is. Um, I mean, I don't know any hiring manager at Amazon that isn't tense, is not tense. Let me repeat myself. I don't know anyone in a hiring manager's role at Amazon who isn't A type and isn't tense. Okay? So if they are interviewing you with the normal conversation, I don't know. I guess I have not experienced that. Okay, let's pick on someone new that I haven't picked on yet and give him some love. Mohar, does Amazon sponsor H1B? Yes, they do sponsor H1B for a lot of the positions. But during the pandemic, I'm not sure if they're still looking at H1B. They, of course, do take H1B transfer. Again, when you guys are asking me a question, you have to realize I'm not an Amazon employee. Okay? So a lot of what I'm sharing with you might have changed, but I highly doubt it. There's just so much news, so many news about them not considering visa sponsorship because of the lockdown and whatnot. Now that that's all over, it may have changed and business may be back to normal, but they do in general sponsor H1B. Jess says, I made it. Jess says, I made it. Questions on Amazon. You see what I'm saying? By everyone is asking about Amazon. I'm not purposely talking about Amazon, but everyone only care about Amazon. Okay. I'm at the final stage now and have given the writing exercise. Any general tips on how to give a kick-ass answer? That is in every single thing that I just talked about, Jess. Yes, beautiful. Obey me now says 30 to 45 seconds. Okay? 30 to 45 seconds. I don't care what anyone says. It's 30 to 45 seconds. Tim, I got a positive verbal loop feedback for L6 position. No offer yet. And meanwhile, made it to a positive L7 loop at the same time. What happened in such cases? I don't know what this means. Are you trying to tell us that you interviewed for an L6 and they told you that you are better fit for an L7? I'm asking you clarifying questions because I don't know what's going on in the feedback, so I can't really give you an intelligent answer. Tim, but congratulations. It sounded like you did really well. Yay! It sounded like you did really well. It just sounded like you may be qualified for a higher level position. Okay? And then let's go to Clarence. I have my first phone interview on Thursday. Do you have any questions, Clarence? I'm not seeing a lot of that. Susan. Hello, Susan. Kasia says 45 seconds to 1 minute. Yes. If you guys can stay under a minute, okay? Susan says, do you have any questions to ask the interviewer? I have a phone interview on Thursday for EA. Susan, I have said this in a lot of my stream, and I will share my screen with you one more time by sharing my screen. Hang on 1 second, okay? Here you go. I'm sharing my screen right now. Let's look at right here. I'm clicking on my name in bold right here, Susan. Sorry guys. This is what happened when I don't plan on sharing my screen. Okay. I'm going to click on my name right here. Okay. In the screen that I'm sharing with you. In here, you see this big giant tab. By the way, if you are new to my channel, you want to join the Friday Pay YouTube member as well, all you have to do is click on the join button, and here is a join button to join as my community member. And once you join my community member, which you are one, Susan, thank you very much. The big community sign right here, this is for member only. This is for everyone, but for member only, you will see this. There's quite a lot. Sorry, guys. Oh, that's why, because I'm not, let me do this one more time. I need to sign in as myself. That is why it's not working right now. Let's come back right here. Let me show you guys how to do it. Remember how I was telling you guys that people don't read and listen, because it is literally all over in my channel to help you how to get here. Let me do this one more time. Okay. Right here. Okay. Right here, you see this big giant sign. I know that I talked a little bit about my star template, but it's also right here, guys. Right here, you see the big thing that says star? You wanted to download that, guys, because if you do, it's going to help you create your story. And here is a template, questions to ask the interviewer, okay? It's under the community tab right here. Okay, that's where you are getting it from. And also in the tab, the live stream like this is for pay YouTube member only. When I do a recap with timestamp on it, this is member only mode. Okay, so it says so right here, members only mode, so you can see the timestamp on here. I like to keep things to avoid having spammer and bots in my channel. I am also trying to protect the community. That's why I'm doing it. But right here, you also see my template in how you answer, tell me about yourself. If you click on it, you see that it will expand. Okay. And another example that I wanted to show you is right here. Anything you see, guys, all you have to do is click on it, because when you click on it, again, this is member only mode, is right here. It also has business leaders, bar racers, so on and so forth. Okay, so I hope that answers your question, Susan. You are a member, Susan. Take advantage of everything that is in here. Also, if there's anything, if I'm doing any special webinar for my my members, every single communication will be in the community tab. And when I make a post on the community activity, you guys will have notification in your email. Okay, so with that said, new member. Oh, Clarence, new member. Yay. Not subscribe. Where's my yay? Awesome. Welcome, Clarence. Melly, how should new grads prepare for an interview for an account or entry level? The same way, the same style that I have told everyone. Either you are an intern, a new grad, a senior, an executive. The way that I've trained you to prepared for your interview, it's really the same style, okay? You need to look at my top pick leadership principles so you're not wasting time. Here's the thing that's really killing me, guys. There's only been a couple, not a whole lot, of folks in my coaching community where when I can tell when they show up to my weekly mock interview and they're not really, after they've been with me for a month to 2 months, that's when they're almost interview ready. And I don't feel like they are. So when I ask them, how many questions are you actually answering? And they said 150. Don't do that. My question, guess where it came from? Amazon. Exactly. I got all of those because I literally went through every single skill set of every single professional that I have personally coached, and they're tech and non tech, right? And I discovered that the behavioral questions are all the same. And guess what I did? I put it in my video for you, and that's Amazon Leadership Principle Wiki that comes with the question. And my second playlist, which is questions and answer, it's solving it one at a time for you. Okay? So don't try to put on more work for yourself because guys, every single thing that I'm trying to tell you guys, it is really a one-stop shop to help you get there, and all the materials are in the description session, including virtual gear link as well, because you really need to get yourself a cheap ring light and improve your audio. And you don't have to, like this look right here, I'm not doing a whole lot of anything fancy. I'm also sharing all of my gear in the link in the description, okay? Thank you so much for all of your time and for just being here with me. I will see all of you guys on Friday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Be well and take care.